Ladies and gentlemen, imagine for a moment that everything you've ever wanted, success, freedom, impact, is already within your reach. The only thing standing between you and that reality isn't luck, opportunity, or talent. It's your mind. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindset. They are the architects of your destiny. What if I told you that by mastering your mind, you could transform every obstacle into opportunity, every setback into a lesson, and every dream into a plan? In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to take control of the most powerful tool you have and change the trajectory of your life forever. Ladies and gentlemen, think for a moment about the power of your mind. Every choice, every action, every success or failure starts there. It starts with the lens through which you see the world. Your mindset isn't just a part of you. It is the foundation upon which your destiny is built. And yet, so many of us go through life allowing circumstances, opinions, and fear to dictate that lens. But what if you could take control? What if you could intentionally shape your mindset so that it becomes a force propelling you toward your greatest potential? This is not about wishful thinking. This is about understanding that your mind is the architect of your reality, and mastering it is the first step to mastering your life. When you master your mindset, you recognize that challenges are not roadblocks. They are signals. They are feedback that guide you toward growth. Most people see failure and recoil. They see obstacles and retreat. But those who understand the true power of mindset see them differently. They see opportunity in adversity. They see learning in loss. They understand that the world will never hand them what they want, and yet within their mind lies the ability to create what they need. This requires clarity of purpose, discipline of thought, and courage to confront the patterns that hold you back. We often underestimate how much our thoughts shape our behaviors. Every habit, every relationship, every achievement is influenced by what we believe to be true about ourselves and the world. If you see yourself as limited, your world will be limited. If you see yourself as capable, resourceful, and worthy, your actions will reflect that, and your results will follow. The most successful people are not necessarily the most talented. They are the ones who have learned to control their internal narrative. They understand that mindset is not just optimism. It is a strategy, a muscle that must be strengthened and exercised every single day. Consider the power of questions. The questions you ask yourself are a mirror to your mindset. Are you asking, why does this always happen to me? Or are you asking, what can I learn from this? The first keeps you trapped. The second frees you. Your mind is constantly seeking answers, constantly working to make sense of the world. By directing it toward constructive, empowering questions, you guide your thoughts in a way that shapes your actions and your outcomes. This is where intention meets impact. Mastering your mindset also means mastering your emotions. Emotions are signals, not masters. When you feel fear, doubt, or frustration, it is not a weakness. It is information. It is your mind telling you that something matters. But it is how you respond to those emotions that determines the trajectory of your life. Those who master their mindset acknowledge their emotions, understand their source, and then choose action aligned with their goals, rather than reaction dictated by circumstance. This is where true freedom begins, and here's the critical point. Destiny is not something that happens to you. Destiny is something you create. Every decision, every belief, every perspective you adopt either pulls you closer to your vision or pushes you further away. When you take ownership of your mindset, you reclaim ownership of your life. You stop waiting for permission, you stop blaming the environment, and you start creating. You begin to see possibilities where others see problems. You begin to act where others hesitate. You begin to lead yourself toward a future that is no longer defined by chance but by choice. Master your mindset, and you unlock a life of purpose, resilience, and impact. It is not about avoiding difficulties. It is about learning to navigate them with clarity and conviction. It is about refusing to let fear dictate your direction. It is about understanding that the mind is the ultimate tool, and when wielded with intention, it has the power to shape not just your actions, but the very destiny you will live. And so, when we talk about mastering your mindset, We are not merely talking about positive thinking or fleeting motivation. We are talking about a deliberate, consistent approach to how you perceive yourself, how you process challenges, and how you act in every situation. Every single day, your mind is bombarded with thousands of inputs, opinions, media, distractions, and even your own inner critic. Left unchecked, these inputs can derail your focus and shape a life you didn't intend to live. But the difference between someone who drifts and someone who directs is awareness. Awareness of your thoughts, awareness of your patterns, and awareness of the choices you make in response to them. The first step in this mastery is taking responsibility, not just for your actions, but for your reactions. Many people fall into the trap of blaming circumstance, environment, or other people for the state of their lives. And while context matters, it does not define your outcome. You cannot always control what happens around you, but you can always control how you respond. When you take ownership of your mind, you take ownership of your destiny. You realize that no external factor has the power to define you unless you allow it to. And that is liberating. It is the foundation for radical change, but responsibility without direction is simply pressure. Mastery requires a vision, a clear understanding of where you want to go and who you want to become. You must define your why. At the deepest level, the reason you are willing to endure discomfort, to face criticism, and to push beyond what feels safe. Without a why, your mind will be at the mercy of fleeting moods and external validation. With a why, every challenge becomes meaningful, every setback becomes temporary, and every decision becomes intentional. This is how extraordinary individuals operate. They do not wait for inspiration to strike. They structure their mindset around a purpose so compelling that it sustains them even in the darkest moments. Equally important is the practice of resilience. Mastery of the mind does not mean you will never feel doubt, fear, or frustration. It means you will learn to engage with these feelings, not be enslaved by them. Life will test you as it tests everyone. But those who master their mindset treat these tests as exercises in growth. They understand that discomfort is not the enemy, it is the teacher. Every time you stretch beyond what feels comfortable, you expand the capacity of your mind to handle bigger challenges. You train yourself to respond with clarity instead of chaos, with strategy instead of reaction. Over time, this builds an internal fortress that no external force can easily shake. Another crucial element of mindset mastery is the way you frame your experiences. Two people can face the same situation and walk away with entirely different lessons. One will see failure, blame, and limitation. The other will see feedback, opportunity, and growth. The difference is not luck, it is perspective. Perspective is a skill, and like any skill, it can be cultivated. When you consistently practice reframing, you train your mind to look beyond immediate discomfort and see the long-term trajectory of your choices. You begin to recognize that setbacks are not endings, they are inflection points. Opportunities to pivot, to learn, and to emerge stronger. And let us not overlook the power of discipline. Thoughts alone do not change destiny. Action is required. Every action you take, or fail to take, stems from the beliefs you hold in your mind. When you develop the discipline to align your behaviors with your intentions, your mindset becomes a force multiplier. You will start to notice that obstacles that once seemed insurmountable become manageable, that hesitation and self-doubt are replaced with clarity and momentum. That small, consistent actions compound into extraordinary results. Mastery is not a one-time achievement, it is the daily commitment to think, decide, and act with purpose. Finally, mastery of the mind is mastery over your story. Every person carries a narrative about who they are and what they can achieve. Most of these narratives are inherited, taught by family, society, or culture, but a narrative, no matter how deeply ingrained, can be rewritten. You are not bound by the stories others have told you about your limits. You are not defined by mistakes, missed opportunities, or the opinions of those who do not understand your potential. By consciously choosing the story you live by, you transform not only your mindset, but your trajectory. Your story becomes a compass, guiding your choices, energizing your actions, and aligning your destiny with the life you're meant to create. Every day presents a choice to let your mind be led by circumstance or to lead your mind with intention, to drift through life or to deliberately sculpt it, to react to fear or to act from purpose. Mastering your mindset is not a quick fix, it is a lifelong practice. But the rewards are immeasurable: clarity in decision making, resilience in adversity, focus in distraction, and confidence in the face of uncertainty. It is the difference between living a life dictated by external forces and living a life defined by your vision, values, and choices. When you commit to mastering your mind, you begin to master your destiny. Every thought, every decision, every action becomes aligned with the life you aspire to create. You step into a reality where challenges are opportunities, failures are lessons, and every moment is a chance to grow. You stop being a passenger in your own life and become the architect of your future. You begin to understand that the mind is not just a tool, it is the launch pad for everything you want to achieve. And when you master it, there is no limit to where your destiny can take you, and yet, mastering your mindset is only half the journey. Once you understand that your thoughts shape your reality, the next step is to cultivate the environment, habits, and relationships that reinforce your growth. Your mind does not operate in isolation. It is constantly influenced by the people you spend time with, the content you consume, and the energy you allow into your life. Surround yourself with those who challenge you, who inspire you, and who hold you accountable to the vision you have set for yourself. The people who reinforce fear, negativity, or complacency will always pull you back. Those who encourage curiosity, resilience, and action will push you forward. It is not coincidence that the most successful people are often those who have carefully curated their inner circle and intentionally limited distractions. Equally critical is the way you feed your mind. Just as an athlete strengthens muscles through disciplined training, the mind requires consistent input that stretches it, challenges it, and deepens its capacity. Read books that expand your perspective, listen to ideas that unsettle your assumptions, seek mentors who have traveled paths you aspire to walk. Your mind is a garden, and every thought you entertain is a seed. Plant seeds of growth, curiosity, and possibility, and watch your internal landscape flourish. Neglect it or allow weeds of doubt, fear, and comparison to take root, and you will struggle to thrive, no matter how talented or capable you are. Mastery of the mind also demands a commitment to self-reflection. Too often, people move through life on autopilot, responding to external pressures rather than intentionally shaping their inner dialogue. Reflection allows you to pause, to assess, and to course correct. It gives you clarity about what is serving you and what is holding you back. Without it, you risk repeating the same patterns, making the same mistakes, and living a life dictated by habit rather than intention. Reflection is the compass that keeps your mind aligned with your purpose, ensuring that your actions consistently move you toward the destiny you envision. Another layer of mastery is embracing discomfort as a tool rather than a threat. The human mind instinctively seeks safety, but growth rarely happens in the zone of comfort. Every breakthrough, every meaningful achievement is preceded by a period of uncertainty, challenge, or even fear. Those who have mastered their minds do not shrink from discomfort. They approach it deliberately. They recognize that discomfort signals growth, that temporary struggle is the cost of lasting transformation. By reframing discomfort as an ally rather than an enemy, you equip yourself to handle adversity with grace, confidence, and determination. Consistency is also a critical differentiator. Mastery is not achieved in bursts of effort or moments of inspiration. It is the result of repeated, deliberate practice over time. Every day you commit to training your mind through focus, discipline, reflection, and intentional thought. You are investing in a compounding advantage. Small, consistent mental habits multiply into exponential results. The person who reads, reflects, and challenges their assumptions daily will experience far greater growth over a decade than the person who waits for motivation to strike. Mastery is a marathon, not a sprint, and it rewards patience, persistence, and unwavering commitment. Your mindset also shapes how you perceive setbacks and failures. Those who master their minds understand that failure is not final, it is formative. It provides critical feedback, insights that cannot be gained from comfort alone. Every time you fall, you are given a choice to see it as proof of inadequacy or as a lesson in resilience. The difference lies in perspective. By training your mind to extract value from every experience, even those that seem painful or discouraging, you convert obstacles into stepping stones. You transform moments of loss into catalysts for growth. And perhaps most importantly, mastering your mindset is about aligning your inner world with your outer actions. It is one thing to think positively, to cultivate clarity, or to embrace discomfort, but if your actions do not reflect these beliefs, your destiny will remain out of reach. The bridge between thought and reality is behavior. Your mind may conceive a vision, but it is your consistent, intentional actions that bring it into existence. When your thoughts, beliefs, and actions are aligned, you create momentum that cannot be easily disrupted. You become a force that shapes your life rather than a life shaped by forces outside of you. Mastering your mind also requires patience with yourself. Growth is not linear, progress will be uneven, and there will be moments of doubt and frustration. Yet each step forward, no matter how small, compounds over time. The mind that is committed to learning, adapting, and growing becomes a perpetual engine of possibility. You begin to see challenges as invitations, mistakes as lessons, and effort as a path to mastery. This mindset fosters resilience, creativity, and confidence, the very qualities that define a life of impact and achievement. Finally, when you consistently choose to master your mind, you gain clarity about what truly matters. You start to distinguish between noise and signal, between fleeting desires and enduring purpose. You prioritize actions that align with your vision and release the energy spent on things that do not. In doing so, your life becomes intentional, focused, and driven by values rather than circumstance. Every thought, every decision, and every action begins to converge toward the destiny you are actively creating. Mastery of the mind is not a destination, it is a continuous journey. But on this journey, you gain power, the power to shape your perceptions, the power to control your reactions, the power to persist in the face of adversity, and the power to create a future that reflects your highest potential. Your mind is not just a tool, it is the foundation, the engine, and the compass of your life. When you take charge of it, you become unstoppable. And as you continue to master your mind, you begin to realize that your internal dialogue is the single most influential factor in shaping your experiences. Every belief you hold, every assumption you make, and every narrative you tell yourself either elevates you or confines you. Most people underestimate the quiet power of their thoughts because it feels invisible, intangible, but the mind is the architect of action, and action is the architect of reality. If you want to create a life that reflects your highest ambitions, the first step is to become deliberate about the stories you allow yourself to believe. One of the most transformative practices in mastering your mind, said, is the conscious choice of focus. Where your attention goes, energy flows. If your focus is consumed by doubt, fear, or comparison, your energy is dispersed and your results are diminished. But when you direct your attention intentionally toward growth, solutions, and possibilities, you multiply the impact of every thought and every action. Focus is not merely concentration. It is a strategic investment of your mental resources. It allows you to see patterns where others see chaos, opportunities where others see obstacles, and pathways where others see dead ends. Mastering your focus is mastering the very lens through which you interpret the world. Equally important is the cultivation of patience. The mind conditioned for instant gratification will struggle to achieve meaningful results because destiny is rarely immediate. Mastering your mindset requires an understanding of timing, rhythm, and persistence. Every small effort compounds over time. Every disciplined choice, every intentional action builds momentum in ways that are often invisible at first. But consistency is the secret multiplier of greatness. It is the difference between fleeting success and lasting impact. Those who master their minds understand that progress is incremental, setbacks are temporary, and perseverance is non-negotiable. Another element of mastery is emotional intelligence. To master your mind, you must also master your emotions. Emotions are powerful signals, but they are not arbiters of truth. Fear can alert you to danger, but it can also paralyze you. Frustration can highlight a problem, but it can also derail your progress. By observing your emotions, understanding their source, and choosing deliberate responses, you transform them from obstacles into tools. Emotional mastery allows you to navigate uncertainty with clarity, to lead yourself under pressure, and to respond to challenges with strategic thinking rather than reactive impulses. Mastering your mindset also means embracing accountability not only to others, but to yourself. It is far too easy to allow circumstances, excuses, or external pressures to dictate the trajectory of your life. But those who understand the power of the mind recognize that ultimate responsibility lies within. Every outcome is influenced by choices, every choice is influenced by beliefs, and every belief is cultivated within your mind. Accountability is not a burden, it is empowerment. It is the conscious acknowledgement that you are the steward of your thoughts, actions, and ultimately, your destiny. A critical aspect of this journey is resilience, the ability to adapt, recover, and grow stronger from adversity. Life is unpredictable, and no matter how strategic or prepared you are, challenges will arise. A mind that is mastered does not collapse under pressure, it recalibrates. It asks, what can I learn? How can I respond better next time? It converts setbacks into lessons, uncertainty into strategy, and adversity into fuel. Resilience is a mindset of its own, one that grows in strength with every trial faced and every obstacle overcome. And as your mind strengthens, so too does your vision. A clear, compelling vision is a magnet for opportunity. It aligns your decisions, energizes your actions, and filters distractions. When your mind is disciplined, your vision becomes actionable. You begin to see what steps are necessary to move forward and what steps are merely noise. Your energy becomes directed, purposeful, and catalytic. You no longer drift from day to day reacting to events. You move deliberately toward an outcome you have defined. The power of belief cannot be overstated. When you believe in your ability to grow, to adapt, and to overcome, you create a self-fulfilling cycle of momentum. Every small success reinforces confidence, every learned lesson strengthens capability, and every intentional action compounds your results. Belief fuels persistence, clarity fuels action, and together, they shape your trajectory in ways that are profound and lasting. Mastery of the mind is also mastery over perception. How you interpret events determines your experience of them. Two people can endure the same challenge and walk away with entirely different outcomes. Perspective is the lens that transforms obstacles into opportunities, frustration into insight, and fear into courage. When you intentionally cultivate a mindset that seeks understanding, growth, and opportunity in every situation, your life begins to reflect that mindset. And finally, mastering your mindset is about integration. It is not enough to think positively in isolation or to act without clarity. True mastery comes when your thoughts, emotions, habits, and actions align with your purpose. This alignment produces an energy, a momentum, and a clarity that is unstoppable. It allows you to operate from a place of strength rather than reaction, vision rather than confusion, and courage rather than fear. It is the ultimate tool for shaping your reality and designing a destiny that is not given, but created. When you commit to mastering your mind, you unlock a force that influences every area of your life. You gain control over your focus, your emotions, your habits, and your decisions. You learn to extract lessons from every challenge, to create opportunities from every circumstance, and to act with intentionality in every moment. The mind is not merely a vessel for thought. It is the engine of action, the foundation of resilience, and the compass of your life. Master it, and you transform not only what is possible for you, but who you are becoming in the process.